Outside Agitators. This fragment of a longer piece was taken from You Can't Shoot Us All, published in 2010 as a pamphlet-sized memoir of the Oscar Grant movement in Oakland, California. When the South has trouble with its Negroes, when the Negroes refuse to remain in their place, it blames outside agitators. James Baldwin. The term outside agitator was popularized during the civil rights struggles of the 1950s, when Southern politicians would blame the growing unrest in exploited black communities on the presence of, often white, radicals from outside the city. Presently, it is a term used by Oakland politicians and aspiring politicians to try to keep the situation under control, to prevent local marginalized people from realizing the power they have. Today, we face enemies that we could have never conceived of before this. Sometimes it's the people who pretend to be on your side that are the most dangerous enemies. The nonprofit world has, for 18 months, waged a campaign against this movement. Many nonprofits that function independently of the local government have disparaged us. They oppose collective uprisings and spontaneous activity because they feel the need to control the movement. These organizations view themselves as the saviors of the downtrodden. When dominated people rise up on their own terms, it threatens the position of leadership that these organizations occupy in their imaginary worlds. We have also come under attack from nonprofits that operate entirely under the influence of the city government. One of these city-funded nonprofits has taken up a full-fledged assault against us, using some of the $2 million in city money it has received to wage a propaganda campaign against the unity that we have found with each other through this struggle. This nonprofit has even used city money to pay young people to come to its indoctrination workshops, where the organization speaks of the evils of people coming together and standing up to their enemies. It has also helped to spread the absurd logic of the mayor's office that only people born and raised in Oakland have the right to take to the streets. This micronationalism is an attempt to foster collaboration between disenfranchised people and their exploiters in a united front against the enigmatic outsiders. It is incorrect to assert the nonprofits of this type have motivations of their own. They are simply the hip mouthpieces of the city government that funds them. Their agenda is the agenda of the mayor's office and police department. They use the language of peace to try to preserve the institutions that created them. We have never been concerned with their peace. The peace of the powerful is the silent war waged against the dispossessed. In the past, our enemies have attempted to divide movements by distinguishing the good element from the destructive element. This time, it seems that the primary division they created was not between the peaceful and violent, but instead a racial division wedged between groups and the uncontrollable element in an attempt to neutralize our collective strength. I, identifying with a man whose photograph was not unlike my own reflection, wondered if people who did not see themselves in Oscar Grant at least saw in his image their friend, their neighbor, their classmate, someone whose life was worth fighting over. I hoped that there were white people who, after watching a video of a black man being murdered by the police, would be angry enough to break windows. In time, I met these people, because they fought alongside us, throwing bottles and chunks of concrete, cursing the police, and writing the names of the dead on the walls of this city.